There is something that is part of our species and ingrained in our culture that almost no one dislikes, yet I do. TV. What is up? My name is Kenji, and in this video we'll be talking about something that might get me labeled as a freak of society. Why? Well, because I'll be discussing why I don't like TV compared to YouTube and gaming. Also, as always, this is all my opinion, and if you can handle that, let's begin. Okay, so I just realized while editing this that there are a lot of shows I do like. So think of this video as more why I like gaming and YouTube more than TV, rather than me just hating TV in general. Ever since I was a child, I've always been drawn to things I can interact with or just feel a connection to. And keep in mind, this was around the late 2000s, so most children would be hooked on TV and wanting to watch their favorite shows. So one would assume I was the same, right? No. You see, from the ripe old age of 3, my parents bought me and my older siblings something of great value, something other kids from the late 2000s would never dream of, because they didn't care. A Nintendo 64. As a youngling, I was absolutely captivated by this glorious piece of technology. I had the world in my hands. Okay, well, more like Hyrule Field and the Lilac system, but either way, my mind was blown. I continued to evolve my gaming dictionary from the PS2 to the Wii, the DS, and many, many more until where I am today. So, what does this have to do with TV? Well, I'll get to that in a minute, but first, what about YouTube? Somewhere along the way, I was searching up tutorials for Minecraft when I somehow came across a video titled Secrets of Dr. Trayaurus. This was on Google, by the way. This is a video that introduced me to my boy, DanTDM, along with the rest of YouTube and later the entirety of the internet. YouTube is another one of those things that absolutely captivate me. I feel connected to the creators because of the fact that most of the time I am watching a real human being, and with a very real connection to the audience. And also, I'd like to mention, whether this is your first video you have watched of mine or not, the thoughts behind my videos are really my own thoughts, and you are watching an authentic me. I can feel confident that a lot of other YouTubers out there feel the same way, so keep that in mind. Now thirdly is TV. TV, like YouTube, is content to veg in front of without effort, and like any entertainment, is for, well, entertainment. You really hit it right on the head with that one, didn't you, Kenji? But what makes it special? Well, I guess people just like stories and captivating plots, exciting characters, and new universes. But for me, I don't find much fun in it. It's just not something that other forms of media can't do better. And not to mention, it doesn't feel real to me. Now, let's start off with a comparison between YouTube and television. YouTube has quite a few strengths compared to TV, so let's start with that. Firstly, as I stated earlier, the audience has a real connection to the creators, and even if it's not deeply personal, it's still there. After all, they are real human beings behind that screen. Sure, there are channels that don't show their face, hi there, and even listicle type channels. Actually, I do kind of get it with the listicle channels, but I'd say most, including me, are real people that are authentic. Even if some people exaggerate their personality, it is usually still them, just more hyped up than usual. Now, compare that to TV. You are watching actors that are just acting as people. They don't exist, the worlds don't exist, and everything in TV isn't authentic. Nothing exists there. You might say, well, doesn't gaming do the same thing? No, it doesn't, but we'll get to that shortly. Now, back to YouTube. There is something I would like to mention as a point, and that is the abundance of content and who can produce it. There are statistically 500 hours of footage uploaded every minute. The thing is with YouTube, anyone, and I mean almost anyone, can upload to YouTube. And sure, because of that there is bad content, but because of the algorithm, that bad content is pushed to the bottom. Comparing that to TV, you have to wait months or even years for a new season most of the time, and it is just sad. Now, saying that, I do get that higher quality production shows can take a very long time, so it is more of the fact that YouTube is better at that aspect and not that really shows are neglecting anything. Lastly is the pricing. Subscriptions to most streaming services are extremely high. Let's take Netflix for example. In Australia, a Netflix subscription is roughly $18 or $15 in the US, and the average Australian spends $55 per month on streaming services. Correction, I actually just realized once again while editing that I made a mistake. The mistake here was that the statistic is per household, not per person. Sorry about that. Or 45 in America. which is crazy to me. When on YouTube, most of us spend nothing for it. We are all watching endless content for free. I mean, with the contrary of ads, but hey, is that a bad thing if we get to watch content made for us for free? Moving on, what about gaming? Well, gaming has always been interesting to me because of the interactivity of it. You are always involved in the next move, and it is up to you, depending on the game, to make a game-changing decision. You are always in control of what you do, and if it's a game where you are a character in a story, you suddenly become that character. You are more involved in a story than any other type of media, and for some people, they are more involved in that story than anything else, other than their own life, of course. But with TV, on the other hand, you are just witnessing a progressing story that you aren't involved in. Well, in most ways, of course. Now, I'd also like to talk about the pricing side of things. I definitely think this is a bit tricky, personally. Why? Well, because of microtransactions. Nowadays, many games are infested with cash grabs, pay-to-win assets, and other things like loot boxes, and this is definitely a big problem. So, I would almost favor TV at this point. However, who are the ones spending the money? The players. Wait, let me finish my sentence. Let me elaborate. Most of the time, these cash grab microtransaction infested games are beyond garbage. There are a lot of games that are really good that don't have these. Now, this isn't always the case, but from my mindset, I just don't spend loads of money on games, and while I mainly play single player, I think if I played multiplayer, I'd stick with games that aren't greedy as shit. And as for TV, I mean, there are free options with ads and some streaming services, but there are not a lot of variety compared to gaming and YouTube. For another point I might as well make while we're here is on the scientific factual side of things. If we are talking about benefits and overall additions to what either brings, video games bring many more, actually near 100% more than what TV does. Gaming can improve cognitive thinking, reaction times, and hand-eye coordination, whereas TV has none that I know of. Also, take what I just said as a grain of salt, because while they are scientifically factual, it isn't that important as a benefit over TV, as gaming, YouTube, and TV are all entertainment and hobbies. But either way, just still wanted to bring it up as a main point. In conclusion, I think TV definitely does have its place, though compared to the alternative entertainment industries and platforms, it just doesn't compare. Pricing, engagement, relatability, authenticity, and just overall enjoyment, for me at least, just isn't there. Remember, this is all just about what I think in my own mind, and I'm not trying to disrespect almost the entirety of the human population. Am I a joyless, soulless person? Who knows really? I don't think so. Anyways, that'll be about it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like and let me know your thoughts on this topic. I'd love to hear it. If you do want to see more content like this, I do gaming and discussion-based videos, so if either of those sound interesting, consider subscribing. Anyways, that'll be about it. This is Kenji, and I am out.